From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, here we go again, talking about the fact that there isn't much change in our forecast. Look at the long-range forecast. No big changes well into next week. Temperatures are going to increase just a tad next week, but it won't be that noticeable. Highs mainly below normal for the inland areas, and heat waves, I don't see any. There's some heat trying to move in, but now it looks like it's going to kind of ride down to our south and then actually move off to our west as some cooler air rides up to our north. So let's take a look at the smoke forecast, and we kind of just show you every day what the overall pattern is looking like, and we continue to see that smoke coming in from the fire in southwestern Oregon, and all this we're going to do for us is just bring us some haze at times and some clearing. So the upper level wind patterns are what are going to really pretty much dictate as to whether or not we see that haze, and yeah, we will see some of that here off and on over the next 12 to 24 hours. Now we look at our temperature trend, and remember I was saying temperature is increasing a little bit here for early next week. Yes, but then they go back down again. So we see a spike on Monday, Tuesday of next week, and then they go back down again for Weaverville in particular. But that's also the case for the inland areas, not so much for the coast. And you'll see that trend for the coast here in a second. But there's what it looks like here for today. I mean, upper 80s inland, and there you can see low 60s here for the coast. And looking at your Trinity County hour by hour forecast, yeah, temperatures in low 90s. It looks like eventually about 92 degrees for Weaverville and Hayfork, and 91 out in Lewiston. All right, so we do have that heat right here. That's what we're tracking. But you see how we have the colder air to our north and west? So this is something I've been talking about really the last several weeks, is that sometimes what happens is you get this heat, it tries to move in. And then this cooler air, it also tries to move in. So they kind of battle it out. They play this little tug of war, right? So what's happening is we're right in between the two. And that's why our temperatures are fairly mild for this time of the year. You see how that colder air just kind of sits there? It's trying to move in, but it can't, because this heat is preventing that from happening. But you see, this heat's trying to move over us, but it can't, because this is preventing the heat from going on top of us. So again, it's that tug of war I was talking about. Now, for the last few days, I have seen some indication that this heat in the next week and a half to 2 weeks will ride on top of us. But now I'm seeing that heat ride all the way to the west of us as colder air kind of squashes it down and moves over us. And that's what's going to keep our temperatures down. So as I said, as I mentioned, it just doesn't look like we have any major heat waves heading our way anytime soon. Now, we look at the visibility here, and you can see we go into this afternoon. It's clearing out. I think we're going to see some clearing out there. Still some patchy fog, but I think some clearing in the afternoon. And then we go into your Saturday morning. And there you can see, of course, looking at that fog again, but it will start to dissipate, and we'll see less in the way of fog and clearing skies for Saturday afternoon. So it looks like a good start to your weekend. We take a look at the wave heights and take you through this afternoon, and what we're looking at here is 5 to, well, really mainly just 5 feet. And then we take you into your Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, mainly about 5 feet. We're not going to see much change there either. So your marine forecast for your Friday: northwest winds at 5 to 10 knots, waves from the northwest at 3 feet at 5 seconds, and it looks like there are no advisories in the forecast. All right, so let's take a look at your forecast here for your Friday. Temperature about 90 for Trinity Center, 83 for Ruth, and for the coast, right around 62 to 63, about 62 in Crescent City, 63 for Eureka. Shelter Cove about 72, and of course Hoopa about 87 degrees. Looking at that 7-day outlook, yeah, for Hoopa, we're in the upper 80s through Sunday, low 90s through next week. So remember I was mentioning temperature is going up a little bit, but not by much. It won't be that noticeable. And for Weaverville, you see how they kind of go up and then they kind of actually go back down to about 91 to 93 for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Here's your 7-day outlook for Eureka, and you've got the partly to mostly cloudy skies. And I say that because we start off with the fog, we start off with those low clouds, and then it burns off in the afternoon. And that's pretty much the trend we've seen the last few days, and that's what I expect for the next few days. Temperatures will be still in the low 60s.